Healthcare is the top issue for voters heading into November. More than half of voters, 56%, say it's more important to them than the economy, even immigration. How is this going to shape the campaigns? Let's bring in Democratic strategist Wal Alviar and GOP strategist Justin Wallin, who we also say has done some interesting polling on this issue. Guys, good morning.
Good morning, Cheryl. How are you?
Good, good. Justin, I want to start with you. You know, we've learned now that Dems have spent so far this year, January, July, $56,000 on ads in all 50 states, depending on what district we're talking about, to target health care. Your polling shows the same thing. What does your data tell you about where voters are right now?
Yeah, so healthcare has just become huge, and it's hard to kind of underestimate it. Usually there's kind of a holy trinity of three issues that are the top three that voters really care about. You know, jobs in the economy, education, public safety to some degree or another. And over the past 14 to 16 months, healthcare has shot to the fore, displacing at least one of those in the top three. And it's something very specific about healthcare. It's the costs of healthcare. When you kind of scrape away what it is that people are concerned about, yes, it's not that they're not concerned about delivery, not that they're not concerned about service, but the big issue is this: a tremendous uncertainty about costs. And that's why it's a huge election issue, because neither party really owns that space. It's tremendous opportunity if there's, not to be a pun, if there's some kind of a prescription for it, but right now, no one owns that space.
I'm glad you brought that up, because, you know, there's a really interesting Forbes piece out right now, and it's actually written by a doctor who basically did his own work, and it's a very thorough look at what people are really talking about. And to your point, prescription prices, 58% say that was most important, then single-payer coverage, and then Medicare. After that, Medicaid. And Roll, I want to ask you about this. Democrats, your party, they're targeting several states and several what they say are vulnerable Republicans: California, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Iowa, and Maine. I want to show a list of the actual candidates right now that your party seems to be going after, thinking that this is where you can flip the seat. Whether it's Representative Steve Knight, Mike Coffman, Vern Buchanan, Karen Handel, Rod Bloom, Bruce Poliquin, all of these in different states are kind of on your hit list. What's the strategy here? Is it going to be health care?
Healthcare is definitely going to be an issue. As you mentioned, the polls are showing that this is an important issue because people are concerned about what's going to happen with healthcare and what's going to happen if we get Kavanaugh into the Supreme Court, and what they're going to do with pre-existing conditions. So it is an extremely important issue, and Americans know this, and they're going to be voting on this issue.
I want to show you guys this other Fox News poll I found really interesting, because the economy is really rocking and rolling right now on all cylinders. But yet we're talking about health care. Their opinion of the tax law was favorable at 40% last year, and Obamacare 51%. But now look at the things have kind of changed, if you can tell on this polling right now, that basically now we're looking at Obamacare actually still has an unfavorable rating, and the tax law has an unfavorable rating. So it seems like people are shifting and saying that the tax law role is kind of a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be good for folks, you know, at the top 1%. But again, people are going to look at what are the things that are going to be affecting their day-to-day life, and healthcare is certainly one of those issues. And when you hear that the Republican administration wants to take away stuff from the ACA, it's not a good issue for Republicans to run on, because you can't take something away from someone that you've already given.
Just in 10 seconds, the economy.
I respectfully disagree with Raul on that one. I mean, you can hardly say that small business owners, entrepreneurs are in the top 1%. And these folks have been adversely affected by ACA. And they are increasingly part of that group that is very, very concerned about these costs. So I think there's a lot of drivers here. And again, I really don't think either party truly owns that space.
Yeah, we're going to find out.
The
polls told us a different story in 2016. So we have to kind of be careful now. Wal Alviar, Justin Wallin, guys, thank you very much. Good to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl.
All right, we got sports next. Aaron Rodgers